The tax bill is almost a done deal, but what won't be in the bill was a provision to repeal a more than 60-year-old amendment that affects churches and other nonprofits. Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. Repealing the Johnson Amendment was a Trump campaign promise. It was added to the tax bill about a month ago, but now has been blocked by the Senate parliamentarian, a non-elected official. The Johnson Amendment is a 1954 provision put in place by President Lyndon B. Johnson to prevent churches and nonprofits from endorsing candidates, and some critics widened the scope to prevent them from preaching on certain political issues or lose their nonprofit status. It's a tax issue because the IRS would have to enforce it. So here to debate is Dr. Alex McFarland, Director of Christian Worldview at North Greenville University, and Ellen Ratner, Bureau Chief of Talk Media News. Welcome to you both.
Hello there.
Thank you so much.
Ellen, let me start with you, because after the provision to repeal the Johnson Amendment was blocked, Senator James Langford of Oklahoma stated, quote, "The federal government and the IRS should never have the ability through our tax code to limit free speech. This tax reform bill was an appropriate place to address this historic tax problem." What do you say to that?
Well, I run a nonprofit, and I will tell you that the vice president of my nonprofit is a Mormon bishop. And if this tax provision, the Johnson Amendment, was taken out and we could somehow give money to any candidate, there would be a huge fight between me and the vice president because he's a Trump voter. I am definitely not, as you know. And I think that it is right to not have nonprofits and churches participate in this.
Okay, Alex, the Democratic Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, he stated, "I will continue to fight all attempts to eliminate this critical provision that keeps the sanctity of our religious institutions intact, prevents the flow of dark money in politics, and keeps taxpayer dollars from advancing special interest bidding." So what's your reaction to that?
Well, Ellen said churches giving money to candidates, and that's not at all what this is about. This is about preachers feeling like they have the freedom to tell their parishioners what the Word of God says and what the positions of different candidates are. So I would agree, I don't want churches giving donations to different candidates, but for the pastors and the clergy that definitely have great influence in the lives of people, for them to have the freedom to bring their people up to speed, keep their people informed about where issues and candidates stand. I think that's something that we desperately need. Now, the Johnson Amendment has really been kind of a billy club to silence the voices of clergy because so many clergy think they would lose their 501c status, which is really not true at all. As most probably know, churches are non-profit anyway, tax exempt anyway. But nevertheless, the Johnson Amendment has really effectively silenced the opponent, and that needs to be changed.
Ellen, the question is, I think is this along with Alex's point. It says, does the Johnson Amendment keep politics out of religion, or does it prevent pastors and priests and other clergy from talking about moral issues that are political hotbeds, like things like abortion and health care and marriage?
Well, I'll tell you something, because I am actually ordained as a spiritualist minister, which means I believe you can talk to dead people, and I know you guys all think I'm insane. That's okay. But I will tell you that at Lilydale, New York, which is where I'm a member, we believe that you cannot, from the platform, which is what we call, what other people would call the place where preachers preach from, and what we basically have said is you cannot give a political speech. You have got to give just a heartfelt speech about what we believe, and that's it. And that's what I think ministers should stick to. Otherwise, don't be a minister. Be a politician.
Okay. And Alex, your take on that?
Well, we have America today because the clergy in the time of colonial America, they were willing to speak against the abuses of Great Britain. And really, it's only a recent reality that ministers are silenced and not really encouraged to do what ministers are put here to do, which is to proclaim, number one, the salvation of Jesus Christ and faith in the Lord, but then also the Bible's take and God's position on moral and social issues. If we had the clergy of today put back in the colonial times, we might not even have a Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration, and America. So I encourage pastors, I've pastored 2 churches, to know that you have the right, really the mandate, to proclaim truth to your people. And Johnson Amendment or not, The clergy of America answer to God, not man, and they need to proclaim truth and embolden and inform their congregants.
All right. I want to thank you so much, Alex and Ellen, for being on A Spirited Debate.
Merry Christmas to
Thank
you.
you.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you, Ellen.
And also
Thank you.
check out my podcast, Lighthouse Faith, Moving Forward in Truth and Love. I'm Lauren Green. Thanks for watching A Spirited Debate.